Hello and welcome to the Gameroom, your bi-weekly video game podcast that may not be the one you need, but it is the one you deserve. We've got a lot of fun topics this week, but first, who am I? I'm Macleod, and joining me, as always, is Dwight Robinson. Dwight, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing great.
All right, the episode has started.
Mm-hmm.
I've deemed it so.
That works.
It's just you and me this week. There's no guest.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have guests, but it didn't work out. So next week, everyone, hopefully, look forward to guests.
Yep.
And no game today, because it would be kind of boring with just two people. What have you been playing? Start off with that, like we always do.
Right. Let's see. I guess I'll go ahead and go.
Are you still on Xenoblade Chronicles
Still
X?
am.
You actually
Yeah, still am. I got
holding on to
got
that?
a little farther. I mean, it's the game is huge, and it really.
Have you got the scale yet? Is it called a scale? Am I making that up?
No, that's it. That's right. The scale.
Okay.
I haven't got that far. Actually, I'm on chapter 3 right now. I haven't started chapter 4.
Okay.
Because I'm doing what I usually end up doing, and that's just like over leveling for no reason. I'm already on a level 4 class. If you remember, you start with one, right?
Explain.
So you start with the drifter class, and then it splits into 3 classes from there. Then once you pick that one, you level that up to level 10, and then that splits again into like 2 other classes. You choose which one. You choose that, and then you get the final, basically the final class in that line or whatever. So I'm in the final class of that line. I haven't even started chapter 4 yet because I'm trying to move to another class. I was like, I don't know, min-maxing that stuff. So I haven't gotten overdrive yet. I haven't gotten scales yet. None of that shit. It's kind of hard though because there's a lot of because you're supposed to place these probes out into the and the map, and it will.
I remember that.
Every once in a while they'll give you money and minerals and resources
yeah,
and shit like that.
I remember that.
So it's kind of hard to do that when you don't have a scale because a lot of them there's like hard to get to, and of course you're still like low level, but I'm getting used to it. I mean, honestly, there's since it doesn't tell you anything, I'm just going off of what I remember from the original Xenoblade Chronicles about the whole topple and stagger and all that other stuff, because it literally tells you nothing like at all.
It has a different. I know it's like a similar-ish system. But it's not the same.
It adds some more stuff. It adds a lot more stuff, and
because you have a gun and a sword,
right.
If I remember right,
which is actually pretty dope. I mean, I like the battle system so far.
I remember the gun does nothing but status effects or something like that, or like topples, and then you switch the sword and you actually do damage with that.
It depends on the class.
I don't really recall.
Yeah, it depends on the class, and it depends on what kind of weapon you have. And like right now, I have the samurai gunner style class. Like it's the assault rifle and the sword. So I'm switching back and forth with that. But yeah, I mean, if I get any farther with that, this is like the longest I've ever stuck with that kind of game, because I usually hate open world games. So it's not too bad. But yeah, the other 2 that I've been looking at or been playing.
Yeah, we could talk about this Avengers beta together.
Okay.
Actually, because remember I played it too,
yeah.
and I actually have it downloading on the Xbox right now.
I should have started it. Actually, I was thinking about that.
Yeah. Actually, before we started this episode, I queued up New Super Lucky's Tale, Battletoads. I feel like there was something else. Spiritfarer.
Oh yeah, that did come out. They came out yesterday.
Which I have been playing on PC, but we'll get to that. And the Avengers beta. So yeah.
So were you interested? I remember when we first saw the trailer for that. It didn't seem like you were interested in that one, Spiritfarer.
I was mildly kind of just
Figured
but
I'd give it a try.
Looking at it more, and it's on Game Pass.
Right.
So
Yeah, of course.
I'm willing to give anything they put on Game Pass. I'm willing to give a try just because it's on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but let's talk about this Avengers beta. So that was last week, our time, or this time too. Yeah. That was on PlayStation 4 available, and it's on Xbox and PC this week. Oh, maybe I should download it on PC as well.
You definitely should do that, because I want to see.
time.
I want to see how well that does. Or hear what you had to say about like the performance and all that.
I'm curious to see what my laptop will push on that guy. It's actually super impressing me so far.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, Avengers. What you think? How far did you get? Did you beat the thing?
Yes.
the single player bit of it, I stopped.
I did.
So I don't even know how far it goes.
I did get to the part where it opens up and it gives you have the full war table and you can go to any of the little missions you want to and all that.
So I never got there.
Oh, really? Okay. So you're still on like the sequence of missions.
Played as Hulk.
Gotcha. Okay.
That was the last thing I did. Am I close?
Yeah, you're close. There's only a couple.
Okay.
After Hulk, there's maybe just like one or two other missions, and then it opens up fully. And when it opens up fully, you can. There's no more story related missions, but it just opens up to like multiplayer missions. The same multiplayer, but you can play them single player if you want. It just like tacks on 3 extra people with you, and you can play as everybody except for Thor and Captain America.
Of course, you can't play as freaking Captain America, my favorite guy.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that shit too.
Like the one guy I want. Yeah.
But yeah,
of course.
I mean, yeah, I got a lot.
Although I don't really like his design in this game. I'll just throw that out there.
So let's start with that. Let's start with that because I got a long list. But let's start with that. So
the designs of the characters. Yes. I can't remember who said it. It might have been IGN or somebody. It says they're cosplay Avengers.
Yeah,
that's kind of what it comes off as.
I would agree with that. Just because, I mean, the graphics look amazing. They do look really good, but it's like this weird uncanny valley. They tried to make them look like the movie Avengers, but then they can't really because they don't have the rights or likeness. So it's just like, is that Scarlett Johansson or is that some chick with a red wig? But yeah, I mean they're not, and it looks weird because of that, because they're not, but they're really trying to make them look like that. So I don't really like it either. And for most of the characters, it actually doesn't really bother me. The one that bothers me the most is definitely Captain America. He has
too
weird
much
as
shit
hell.
on his clothing.
Yeah, he looks weird as hell. His like halfway Rainbow Six, halfway American flag look. He's got all this like armor stuff, which normally I'm cool with that. Normally it's like, oh, that's dope. He's got all this tactical gear on, but it looks dumb on him.
It does look dumb. Now, there's an alternate costume. There's an alternate costume I've seen, and I don't know where it's available. I don't know if it's a pre-order bonus or like something you have to buy. There is a much better looking costume for him, and even his shield looks dumb, I think, because like the star is like way bigger than.
Yeah, it's.
I know we're just nitpicking.
Yeah, it's nitpicking, but I mean, it's my main issue is that he looks way too bulky, Just like you said, he has way too much stuff on him. He has all this stuff and all this padding and everything, and it's just unnecessary. It looks terrible.
It's kind of like it kind of reminded me almost of like, and not to the same degree, but like the Kingdom Hearts characters, how they just have fucking zippers, and fucking belts everywhere,
random stuff all over the place.
And that's how I felt like. It's like someone was designing his costume and just didn't know when to stop.
Yeah, they definitely were. And then if you look at his helmet, it looks like it's too big. It looks like his eyes are like so far down, so he just has this like alien cranium or whatever. With it looks bad. When you look at it now, you're just like, why is that helmet so huge? Because when you look at Captain America in the movies, he had that same style where it was kind of like covering his eyes, but because it looks normal because it's just like a little cap.
It conform to his head.
It's just a little cap, but in this one, it's just like it's this huge like bucket sitting on his head. It just looks so dumb. But
I'm gonna have to pay more attention to it when I play it again. Probably tonight, actually, when we get done with this. I'm a huge advocate for the Captain America game that was on 360 and PS3. Right. I probably talked it to death.
See,
not the people on the podcast. Right. Get ready. I'm about to keep going. So, that game is amazing, though. I think I did mention it on the last episode. Yeah, but not backwards compatible. Not on PC. You just have to deal with what you got. But it's on 360 and PS3. Absolutely, get the 360 version if you can because it runs better. But totally worth it.
No, I mean I definitely feel you on that because Captain America, even before the movies, I was always liked that character, and really. The first exposure to that character was from Marvel vs. Capcom and Marvel superheroes. There was a game on PlayStation before Marvel vs. Capcom. That's called just Marvel Superheroes, really, War of the Gems.
Yep.
And it was that fighting game that just had Iron Man, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Doctor Doom and stuff like that. And it was amazing. And Captain America, he was just dope. He just smacked people in the face with a fucking shield.
Captain America and Wolverine are usually two characters I love on those sort of games.
Yeah. So I mean, it was just great. So when I heard that they were doing the Avengers movies, I was already on board. So yep. I mean, I like how they showed his fighting style from the 2 seconds it lets you play as him in the beta.
Yeah. Not very long.
But I don't know, his look is just But that.
So let's talk about that then. Moving on, I guess about how it plays.
How it plays, definitely.
Is it just super simple to you as it is to me? Like, I kind of feel like this is...
It was at first, and I agree with you because I sent you a text about that. I was like, wow, it's really simple. But honestly, what happened is that it opens up. So once you actually get to the point where you can level them up and you can buy moves, it opens up a lot, which I actually don't like. Because there's games where you can upgrade your character and get more... moves and stuff, but there's basic stuff that your characters aren't able to do until you buy it. For example, like Kamala, she has a move where everybody has a counter. So you tap the right trigger and it will counter. And for most of them, that move is different. So for Hulk, when you hold it down, he goes into like a rage mode, and then all his when you get attacked and everything, or when you attack people, you get stronger, and then all of your superpower meter goes into your health. So basically, he's invincible as long as you have rage, which is, true to the character. Then you have characters like Black Widow. When you tap the right trigger, you use your grappling hook. So you can hook onto somebody and you'll zip straight to them.
She has a hook shot practically. Right. I remember
exactly.
That. Okay.
And then Iron Man, when he does his, he puts up a shield.
I did not like playing as Iron Man. I don't know what it was, but anyway.
Actually, so he has a shield, but pretty much for any one of them, you can tap that button and it will do a counter. Kamala can't counter. You have to unlock the ability to counter.
That's so dumb.
So if you hold the button down, she'll do this like weird bendy legs shit, and then they'll try to punch her and she'll like move out the way, but it's not a counter. So if you try to do it right when somebody's hitting you, it does nothing and you'll get hit. And I remember when I was playing her and I was like, what the hell is going on? Am I doing this wrong? And afterwards you can actually buy moves. You have to buy that counter. Which
that would have been helpful to know.
Yeah,
right?
well, I mean, I figure it's a story. You could say that it's a part of the story that she's learning to do the same things as the rest of them.
Yeah, that's a weak excuse at best.
Definitely.
Did you play Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3? Or did you play any of them?
I played of course, the first, I would say 4, because I count X-Men Legends in that.
No, Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah, X-Men Legends 1 and 2. Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2.
I got you. The only reason I say Ultimate Alliance in particular is if you've ever played as Captain America, his base move is throw the shield and it bounces all over the place.
Yeah.
And that in Ultimate Alliance 3 is not a default move.
Really?
You have to unlock it later, and it's it rubbed me so wrong. I'm just like, why can he not throw his damn shield? That's Captain America's thing.
Ultimate. I actually never played Ultimate Alliance 3. I still have to get around to that. It's still $60. Holy crap!
I know. I actually got rid of it after I beat it because I was like, I'll sell it when it's high and I'll get it, when it drops.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen for a while. But
I kind of wish it would come out on something else. But
going on to that Ultimate Alliance that you're talking about, in Ultimate Alliance, which I'm guessing in 3, you also have those tag team moves, right? Where Colossus will throw Wolverine into somebody or
yeah, you have similar moves in that.
Iron Man will shoot his unibeam at Captain America and he'll bounce it.
Captain America shield and it.
So none of that is in this game. None of that.
Of course not.
At all. So
it's DLC.
That was my next thing about this game is just, okay, it's multiplayer, but what's the point of it being multiplayer? It actively messes up the game because the combat system is actually pretty intricate. Even though you have a light attack and you have a heavy attack, they don't mix together, which at first really bothered me because I was like, wait, you have light and heavies and you can't hit a bunch of lights and then do a heavy or anything?
Yeah, they don't like string into
No,
a combo. They
there's-
just kind of do their own thing.
There's only one combo where you string them together. Only one. And you have to unlock it, and it's like the last thing you unlock. And it's 4 lights and then 1 heavy. And then that's it. There's nothing else. So it's not like in Ultimate Alliance where you do light, heavy, light, and then you'll trip somebody. Or light, heavy, heavy.
Yeah, or
and
knock them
you'll
up in the
knock
air
them
or
up and
something.
stun.
Yeah.
So you still have moves like that. But they're different for each character. So for like Kamala, you hold X, and then you'll do the launcher. But if you hold X for or when I say X, I mean like, you know, the light attack. When you do that for Black Widow, it trips them. So you have the same buttons. You're either running and you hit light or heavy, or you're standing still and tapping light and heavy, or you hold down light and heavy. So that's basically how that works. Or you're jumping and tapping it or holding it. So you don't mix them together. They're both separate. They both do separate things. But for each character, it does a different thing.
I guess I'm kind of glad to hear that it does open up a bit more as far as complexity, because that bridge sequence is like borderline Asura's Wrath, like cutscenes and quick time events.
I know they're trying to make it look
everything
cool.
just seems very big. Yeah. I'm just like, is the whole game gonna? Not that I would have a big problem with that.
Right.
If I just want a single player, I could run through it. I'm actually okay with that. I'm actually probably gonna rent this game and just run through the single player.
That's my next big thing.
Buy it when it gets cheaper.
That's my next big thing. This is a single player game, pretty much, that they tacked multiplayer onto, and they tacked a loot box game, or not loot box, a loot system or whatever too. You can't see any of the loot, so the loot really doesn't. All it's there for is to give you a reason to redo, maps and missions, to keep it as a forever game or whatever, as a service.
Yeah, it's artificial, like
super artificial. There's no reason for it. They could just take it out completely, because the combat system, how that countering thing works, somebody will flash white when they're doing a light attack, or they can flash yellow when doing a medium attack, or when doing a heavy attack, and then they'll flash red when you can't counter and you have to dodge. So you have to watch the enemy for whether they're flashing white, flashing yellow, or flashing red, which is fine normally if you're by yourself. If you're in, you're in a room with like 4 people, and then there's like all this shit flying at you, whatever. You can't see that. And when you play, once you get to those missions, you'll know what I'm talking about. Especially the mission when you're in the city with all the skyscrapers. It's like the Eastern Seaboard mission or whatever.
The city with the skyscrapers.
Yeah, you'll see it. The frame rate tanks. Like, I've seen the frame rate go down. And the thing is, Digital Foundry, I don't think they really got to that level, because they were talking about the frame rate, but they didn't.
Yeah, no, they were only really talking about the bridge.
So when you get there, the frame rate takes a dump. It goes straight to it's single digits, and I'm not even joking. Single digits. I was blown away how bad it was. When you have all those people around, you can't see anything because there's like stuff flying around. You can't tell if like somebody's flashing red or flashing yellow or flashing. You can't see any of that stuff when everything's happening. So it made it harder to play when there's more people. Like, there was missions where we had all 4 of us, all the shit was happening, and then they dropped out and quit because we kept having to retry. But then once they left and it was just me and I could see what was going on, I beat the mission by myself. It was harder with all of them in the way where I couldn't see what was going on.
That's funny.
So
it's almost like playing New Super Mario Brothers. It's
right.
Just like,
people are like
it's
jumping on you
players.
and shit when you're trying to make jumps. Yeah, I want to see if anybody actually says anything about that, because that was my number one complaint. If this game was single player, it'd be amazing. But because of the loot boxes, it's terrible.
It's out in 2 weeks. You can play it all single player, right? Because if not, I'm not going to bother.
You can, but then even with that, you can't get rid of all the loot stuff. So you have to like grind.
I mean, you can play through Destiny that way, so I'm fine.
Yeah, but that's a shooter. It's not a superhero game.
They're trying to shoehorn that same sort of business in, as far as I can tell. So, my last thing on my notes, and I know we've been talking about friggin' Avengers for like 20 minutes, but I wrote A-Day. Really?
Yeah.
That's the dumbest name. It's like, do you remember A-Day? What day? A-Day. Yeah, they couldn't have come up with a better name for that.
Yeah.
Anywho, I'm off it now. Yeah.
We'll let that one live for now.
Yeah. All right, so let's see, what else you got? Battletoads. Yeah, so I'm going to start that. I'll be able to talk to it next week because I plan on Sunday. I have people coming over. We're going to play through the whole thing.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I just went through just 2 levels because my brother was like, "Hey, let's get on Battletoads." I was like, "All right, dope." So we just jumped on for a little bit. So I mean, I like it so far. I would not compare it to Streets of Rage because it's not Streets of Rage.
Oh no,
at all.
No, I didn't expect it to be.
Not at all. But I mean, it's not bad. I've actually seen a couple of reviews for it already. 2 of the reviews said that it tried too hard to be funny, and it was like drastically not funny, and then it was way too hard to play, and it was very obnoxious, and they didn't like the cartoonish style. I would have to disagree with a lot of that.
I have to agree with. I don't care for the art style, but I don't think that's a problem with the art style. I think it's a personal preference on my end.
So I'm not super in love with the art style either, but I get what they're going for. I get the whole Saturday morning cartoon thing they're going for.
Yeah, I get it.
Which is a lot of how the jokes are like too, and I mean they're right. The jokes are really overbearing, especially in the first level. It's really annoying. It's really annoying, but. I mean, after a while, they get a little better. You chuckle a couple of times, you know, and some of the mini games are pretty good, or they're pretty funny. So it's not that bad. It's not as bad as the one reviewer that I saw. I think he was on Polygon or something like that, actually. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't terrible. How the game plays, he's definitely right. It's hard. Like really? It's hard. We played on the easiest difficulty, and it's just that. There's a lot of stuff going on, and you have so many different controls, and then just the way that it works against you, actively works against you. So you have to, you have like a heavy attack, which you hold B to do, and it takes so long to charge. And at first it tells you, okay, well, to break through these guys' blocks, you have to use that. I'm like, okay, that's fine. First time you use it, the guy's standing there by himself, and he's holding a block, and you sit there and charge, and then you hit him, and all right, that works. But then, when you think about it, it's like, wait a minute. You know that in the later levels, they're going to have like 10 different dudes coming after you. When you're sitting there and trying to charge to hit this one guy or whatever, and there's no way he's just going to sit there and take that. There's no other way to get around blocks. You can't like throw somebody or anything like how you could in Streets of Rage. You know, somebody blocks, you can walk up and throw them or something. Or you can do tick throws and all this other technical stuff. It's not really in Battletoads. I'm sure there's people.
Yeah, I couldn't do that anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure there's people that will get around it, but it seems like it actively works against you. But I won't say it's not to like an obnoxious degree or anything. But
yeah. I mean, I hear it's short. I hear there's not a lot of enemy variety. I can't really speak to it, but I'm gonna try to blow through it in one sitting. So we'll see. Yep. Well, we should have both beaten it by next week, unless we give up. So
yeah, more than likely. I'll probably get through it this weekend.
That's it for you? That's all you got?
Just those 3.
Light week?
I haven't had a whole lot besides that, really. I've been trying to watch, finish up Persona 5. Not the game. The
animation? Yeah. The English one?
I'm watching it subbed.
Okay, I watched it sub too. It does do this thing. Are you watching on Hulu?
I'm watching on Crunchyroll, actually.
Okay, I don't know if they finished it on Crunchyroll. I will say that there's like 26 episodes of that. It ends at the false ending of the game.
So it doesn't have any of the Royale stuff, which I figured.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it doesn't. It doesn't have the Royale stuff. But even in the base game, the 26 episode run ends at the false ending of the real game. So like, there's actually 2 special, like I guess they're OVAs.
Yeah.
That they tacked on to like give the true ending.
Yeah, I saw that.
And you should totally track those down if they're not.
Yeah, they're on Crunchyroll. I did see that, which is good because normally they don't have OVAs and stuff.
Did you watch the Persona 4
both of them.
The Golden Anime. The Golden Anime.
I watched both of them. Yeah, the Golden one was pretty garbage.
Okay, I did not like the Golden one. The regular Persona 4 anime though I love. Like it is well done.
That's the issue I had. Sorry about that. That's the issue I had kind of with Persona 5 anime. I like the Persona 4 anime a lot. This one
I like it a lot more than the Persona 5.
Yeah, I don't like the Persona 5 anime at all. And and it's not that it's terrible. It's just that the character design looks great. The characters look really good. They look really clean. But of course, they didn't come up with that. Their developers came up with that.
I just don't think they pace the anime.
Not at all.
Personally.
They rush through a lot of stuff, and then other things they take forever on. And also, the animation itself is terrible. Like, it's really terrible.
I agree. It's like Rocky in some points. Like, they're like, oh, we got to get through this, and we only have a limited budget.
Yeah,
so
I've seen some of their walking looks terrible. The action scenes are terrible, like super terrible.
Yeah.
They use a lot of cheapskate techniques where they'll show the characters doing the same pose, and then an attack goes off, and it cuts to a screen of like the guy getting hit by random lights, and then I'm looking at him like, wait a minute, this is Persona 5, isn't it? Like they didn't have any extra money to make this.
They
look
didn't have
good.
the money for it.
Like it's terrible.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
I agree with you though.
I was surprised.
Yeah, the Persona 5 anime, I want to watch it again now that there's an English dub to it. Because I actually played it in English, and I actually really like the English cast. I watched the Persona 4 anime in English and Japanese, and both are fantastic. But yeah, I'm going to give it another shot, but I agree with you.
I like the music. The music is great. Absolutely. Everything else, I don't know.
Yeah, the music is really good. I do like the Persona 4 music yet again a little bit better. Persona 4 is like my second favorite game ever, though. Like it's going to be a hard one to beat. But Persona 5 was probably one of the games of the we got to do a games of the generation episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Persona 5 is definitely going to be in there. I never finished Royale. I actually got like 40 hours in and I stopped.
Now that I've actually watched, I haven't finished the anime yet, but once I finish that, I'll probably I'll start on that. Persona 3, I haven't watched those movies. They had them on Netflix, but only had like
I've seen one of them.
Two.
They only had two on Netflix,
exactly,
which is so stupid.
That's why I never watched it, and they didn't have the first one. Which they had the second and third one and not the first one, so I never watched it. That shit pissed me off. I kept waiting for it, and now I don't think it's on there at all anymore.
You can find them on YouTube to watch, and they're actually in pretty good quality. They did the same thing though with I love Detective Conan. That's like one of my favorite animes. But there's like freaking season like 20 on Netflix. That's like, well, unless you know what's going on already, you're gonna get in this and be like, what is happening? So,
but yeah, I'll get around to that at some point.
Persona 5, the regular game, I think took me 82 hours to beat, and I think Royale is longer. So yeah, times.
So what do we got?
Nice little tangent there. Well, I guess I'll go on to what I've been playing.
Ahead.
So at the beginning of last week, I downloaded Yakuza Kiwami 2 because it was on Game Pass, and then I found out the hard way this is not a Play Anywhere title. It also is not enhanced for Xbox.
Yeah, I read about that.
It kind of looks worse than the PS4 version.
So it's got some Tekken 7 bullshit going on.
Not quite that bad. No, nothing's that bad. Yes, we should not speak of the Tekken. But no, I got it on. I downloaded on Game Pass for PC, and I was actually between the 2 weeks, there's 15 chapters. Actually, there's 16 chapters in the game. So I equated it up. I was like, man, if I beat a chapter and a half or so a day, I'll be done with it. So yeah, I beat it yesterday.
Holy crap! Holy shit!
Yeah. So I started it at the end of last week, and I beat it yesterday. I sent you that one photo, which we shall not speak of. But I will say that game is, I mean, if you've never played a Yakuza game, that game is hella Japanese.
Right. Yeah.
There's some very crazy stuff in there. It's weird because it's like one moment it's super serious and hardcore drama, and the next minute you're having a boss fight with like two Bengal tigers, and like you have a finishing move where you just like punch this tiger in the face. It's just some insane stuff.
I love
it. It was fantastic. I've beaten the game on PS2 before. I actually have a PS2 copy. I actually own every Yakuza game. I have not beaten them all, but I do love the series. And I started this on PS4. I actually have the PS4 copy of this as well. And once I heard it was coming out on Xbox and stuff, I was like, I didn't get very far. I'll just wait. But,
yeah, that's what it kind of... I started Yakuza 0 some time ago when it first dropped on Game Pass. I like it a lot.
That is one of the best ones.
I like it a lot.
That's one of the best Yakuza
I have to go back to it.
Kiwami 2 is up there, too. Kiwami 1's a bit... I wouldn't say rough, but you could definitely tell it was based off the first Yakuza game.
Right.
So, but two is much better. I like 3 a lot personally as well. It is the slowest of the games.
Okay.
But I'm also someone that likes. I'm also, I like Shenmue, so you can't get much slower than that.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, friend of the show, Alejandro, he's been on the show before. He's like sent me a picture of Shenmue on his PC. He's like, I'm starting this today.
Let's see how far you get.
I was like, cool. Yeah, wow. I asked him how he was enjoying it. He's like, it's really slow, and that's the last I heard of it.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling he might have dropped it already.
I don't think I ever got through it. I played the original Shenmue. I burned a disc on my Dreamcast like years ago, and played it. I mean, I thought it looked amazing, but I never got through the whole thing. And I had Shenmue 2 on Xbox. I still do, I think.
Yeah, I have Shenmue on everything. I don't have Shenmue 2 on Dreamcast, but I have everything else. Shenmue is a game that I love. Is my favorite game ever, but I do have a hard time recommending it to people just because of its pace. Right. If you're willing to give it the time, it'll give back an enjoyment. But, yeah, I digress. The next game. This is also on Game Pass. Actually, you know what? Every game I played this week outside of the Marvel Avengers was on Game Pass, just because I had my computer with me. Actually, I did play Animal Crossing, but I'm not going to talk about it like that. Unless I play that every day. If something unexpected happens, I'll talk about it. But other than that, expect I'm
just grinding.
Yep. Yep. So I downloaded The Tourist, which I actually have on Switch, but I was like, hey, whatever, right?
The Tourist.
I never really played.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you remember this?
Actually,
this
don't really.
Okay, so it's like it's a 3D world, but it's like pixel art looking. You're this little guy, and it's like an isometric camera view. You have to do these little puzzles. I wish I had took notes on this, because this game reviews incredibly well, and I was really enjoying it for a little while, and then this game infuriated me.
Oh, actually, I know what you're
talking about.
Okay.
To the point where I had to be like, fuck this. I'm sorry. I'm trying to quit cussing. Uninstall immediately. It made me so angry.
I've done that plenty of times.
Here's the main reason why is you go into a room, because there's these little totem, I don't, it's hard to describe. There's these monoliths you go into. And you'll go in there, and there's a puzzle you have to solve.
That voxel game.
Or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of reminds me of Roblox for some reason.
Kind of similar.
So you'll go into this room, and there'll be a puzzle to solve, and it's super platform heavy, but you're in this isometric camera view. And you can move the camera a bit, but not enough to where it makes it easy to platform.
Is God.
But here's the main problem. Here's an example. You have to make these difficult jumps across this room to put this thing on this platform, and then you have to get back to the other side of the room without dying to open this door and then get back or something like that. If you fuck up at any point, there I go again. Stop. It resets the room. If you fall, the puzzle just it doesn't matter if you had it solved and you haven't left the room yet. If you haven't progressed, it resets the whole puzzle.
Oh my God.
And I think I did this one room 5 times, and then after that I'm just you know what?
Forget
F this game. I'm
just
done.
delete it.
No more.
I've definitely had a couple of those
delete.
where I didn't even close the game or shut it down. I just deleted immediately straight from the menu while it was still running.
That's exactly what I did. Manager, uninstall.
Yeah. Oh my God, this actually does look pretty good. I don't know if I'll ever play it.
If you're watching me on Skype, I'm probably. I know you, listeners, you can't see me. My face is probably red just thinking about this garbage right now. It's not garbage. It's fine. It's just.
I do have a lot of.
My patience level is not.
I do have a lot of respect for the developers just on the performance of this game, because it runs.
Oh, the technical aspect.
Yeah, it runs at 60 frames on a Switch, which is amazing. I always have a lot of respect for that.
And on PC, it actually had to be patched at first because it wasn't I don't know all the technicals, so if I say some weird stuff, people just excuse me. But the game was booking it when I started up, because it was not intended for 120 hertz displays. So it even says that at the beginning. It says it's only meant for 60. So the game was running double speed.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just man, I don't remember the game being this fast. And I'm playing it, and then I was oh, and then a patch came out. So, but yeah, I mean, on a lighter note, though, there's a ton of games to play. I don't have to worry about this one now.
Yeah.
So, yep. I did play 2 more games. I'm going to get to one of them later when we actually get to the Indie World Showcase. But the last game I played right before we started this is finally, I was going to try to download it while I was out, but it was Flight Simulator.
Okay.
It was like 100 and some odd gigs.
Yeah.
And my hotel was pulling in the kilobytes per second. So
wow, you tried to download this over like public hotel
Oh,
Wi-Fi?
no, I was like, nah, it's not going to happen. So I did manage to get, the other game I'm going to talk about later is Spiritfarer, but it took like hours to get that. So Flight Simulator would have taken all week.
Right. You need like a constant connection for
flights,
that, don't you? I think it like updates all the air traffic info and weather and stuff in real time.
It took 45 minutes here to download.
Wow.
So, which is pretty heavy. Anyway, so my experience with it, all 20 minutes or so. For one, the game looks amazing.
Yeah.
They let you pick the airport you want to take off from. The airport down the street from me is in it, which is nuts.
I wonder if it has the Newport News International in there. Probably does.
I would not be surprised. So, like, I'm taking off from the airport down the road, and I'm like, wow, I could probably find my house. So I'm sitting there, and I have it on easy assisted, as easy as you can get. I'm thinking this is going to be Rogue Squadron at this point. So, no, it is not. So first thing that happened, I tipped the plane to the side while sitting in the runway.
How the hell you do that?
I don't know how that happened. So somehow I managed to get it back upright. And then I take off backwards.
What?
I don't know how that happened either. I could not figure out how to take off. With all the assist on, I couldn't figure it out. So you can turn on assisted, like essentially someone flies it for you and you could just sit there and look at it. So I did that. I'm like, oh, I'll let him take off. And then I'll be able to figure it out. It won't be a problem. So I did that. And controlling the plane's not that bad. However, I cannot figure out how to slow down at all. Like, I'm pretty sure I was near my house. I was trying to find my house. That was the plan. Because that airport's not that far from me. I could drive to it in like 5 minutes. I'm pretty sure I got near it, but I could not tell because this guy, the AI pilot, was just booking it, and I could not figure out how to adjust my speed whatsoever.
Were you using just a mouse keyboard, or were you using the controller as well? Or
so I was using the controller to start off with, and then I ended up changing the mouse and keyboard because at that point you can actually look down at the cockpit and like actually click on the stuff you want to do. I pulled this one knob and it just like put me into another style. There are no explosions. I just kind of hit the ground in a comic fashion and nothing.
Oh, so it's like Gran Turismo then.
It's like Gran Turismo, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I just hit the ground.
I'm sure Cessna didn't want to show their stuff blowing up.
TBD. I will get back to it. I want to find my house. That's like the main thing I want to do. I will say it's gorgeous to look at, though. I was amazed at how good it looked. Even on I couldn't set it to ultra or whatever. It put it on. I put it on the recommended like pick it for me, and it put it on high. And even at that, I was like, wow, this looks insane. They've been kind of mum on when that's going to come out on Xbox. It is supposed to be coming out, but they haven't really said it is, yeah. And there's full controller support. Like it's even in like the default things. Xbox. I'm sure they can. I'm sure it'll support mouse and keyboard as well. And of course, all the other controllers. They have a lot of controllers for this. But I'm sure even if you have the controller, you can still do things with the mouse and keyboard. They'll probably even have a flight stick for it or something like that. So I know older games will let you do that. X-Wing Alliance lets you do that. You could use a controller or a joystick and the keyboard and stuff at the same time. Yep. Yeah, set and throttle and all that. Yeah. But yeah, that's been pretty much it for me. I did play Catherine. I got Catherine full body, and I started that, but I didn't get very far. So I was going to get it, but it was on sale. That's why I got it. I already have it on 360, and then
when I
do
saw
too.
that it didn't, I mean, it wasn't like 60 frames or anything. They didn't really upgrade the look very much. I was just kind of like, I'll wait for the super ultra definitive edition.
They did upgrade the content in the game.
Yeah,
though.
the content.
It starts off and it's like, wow, they added a bunch of stuff to this.
And I think they also made it so that you can. There's like an easier mode where you don't have to do the puzzles. You can just like, just get the video.
You watch the puzzles
or
being
get the
done.
story or whatever.
Yep, and that appealed to me actually because if you played the original version, that game
it gets really hard.
The game,
yeah.
So. And almost to the point where I gave up because I just wanted to see what happened next, but I was like struggling through these puzzles.
I still want to do that.
My mind just doesn't work that way sometimes.
I still want to do it. One of these days I may get that. I'm sure. I want to see how some of these games will run on Series X, and then I may get it because I'm really interested in that whole automatic frame rate doubling thing, and I want to see how that works. Yeah. If it's just like inter-frame blending, or they actually get the game logic to run at 60 or whatever. So,
I don't know. It's probably going to be a mix of both. You know, some games aren't going to allow for that, so just because of how the game is programmed. But I actually got this on Switch because I'm not really that concerned with the frame rate on this sort of game. And plus, it was on sale, so sales and whatnot. But that's it. Episode's over.
Right.
That's it. Goodbye. I'm kidding. So this week. Like I say, we don't have our normal cast, so we're going to skip part of our beginning part. Next week, do you want to mention what we're going to talk about? Or do you want to just go into it next week?
Just I guess, a little dabble. Some of the new arcade machines and emulator boxes and stuff they've been coming out with later. We're going to get more in depth with that. With some people that we've known for a long time.
Look forward to that next week. We'll have a little bit of a reunion of sorts with some old friends from GameSpot is what we're called,
GameSpot.
Right? GameSpot. GameSpot, not the website GameSpot. Just to clarify,
the story behind that name is pretty funny. We'll probably get it. We'll get into that. But
we'll get into it next week. So, I guess the big news. Well, one of the big news things from previous weeks when we weren't. Or actually happened shortly after we recorded last, was Halo Infinite's delay. So that was a big deal. That was all over Twitter at the time. And what do you think about that? I mean,
honestly,
I'm fine with it personally. I'm still
glad
that
they're
Series
I'm glad
X.
they're delaying it.
Yeah.
It's you should never try to. Well, I know they gotta make deadlines and stuff, but. If you have the ability to delay it to make it better or to clean stuff up or whatever, I mean, go for it. There's no, I'm not dying for it. So, whatever they can do, I'm going to get a Series X, day one anyway.
Me as well. Yeah.
Halo was actually not a system seller for me anymore at this point. I mean, really loved Halo. We were talking about this a little bit, when it first came out on the original Xbox. Actually, was at the midnight release for Halo 2.
I worked at a GameStop.
Yeah, it was an interesting story. I actually didn't go out of my way to get. I was in high school. My mom was a nurse and she works overnights. She had forgotten something at work or needed to get something at work, so we actually drove up there to do whatever. And then on our way back, it's like, oh, let's stop by GameStop because I want to get Halo 2 and it comes out tonight. She's like, is it open right now? Because it was like midnight. It's like, oh, no, it's open.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, all right. So she drives up and it goes behind the mall. Huge line of people all over the place. She's just like the look on her face, like, what the hell? People are actually lining up in the middle of the night for this shit.
That was one of my biggest. I did a couple launches. That was probably one of the biggest ones I did. It was huge.
That's the only time I ever went to a midnight launch. It was Halo 2.
I went to a few. I remember actually we got the game several weeks earlier. I was working at a GameStop at the time, and we may or may not have. I will not say. We may or may not have started the game a bit early. A couple weeks, possibly. Yeah, I remember this being a huge deal, and we always making jokes, because there was these big stickers all over the box. Do not open. Yep. I was like, what's gonna happen? Master Chief's gonna kick down the door and just blow us away.
I mean, especially in those days, they weren't really banning anybody or whatever online.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we got to play it early, but yeah, those days I feel are kind of over. I was very excited for
they're definitely
Halo Infinite,
over for
but
me. I'm not. I mean, when I see a new Halo, I'm like that. I mean, that's cool.
I'm excited,
Yeah,
but I'm not over the moon
not
hyped.
at all.
I agree. I remember on Twitter there was like that quote from Miyamoto where they're like, a bad game is bad forever, and a good game can get delayed, or I don't remember the quote exactly, but you know what I'm talking about. That was all over Twitter, and I'm just like, that kind of isn't relevant as much anymore. I still don't want them to release something cruddy and then patch it.
Absolutely.
But at the same time,
which they did for the Master Chief Collection, and it did come back. You know, a lot of people like it now, but the fact that it took almost 5 years for that to happen is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think they want to start off with goodwill this time, so that's probably why they're doing this.
It was a good decision.
On the same note, though, too, they also sent several people reported getting the new controllers.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So this week I was at a distribution center for the place I work. I'm not going to say what it is, but I will say they would sell these things. And I was at the regional distribution center. You could bet my eyes were peeled for these controller boxes. I did not find any, though. I found way more Switches than I thought, though. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I think I counted like 1,300 some odd Switches.
That's crazy.
Just based off, I didn't count 1,300 Switches. I just counted the pallets and did the math. But yeah, I could not find these controllers.
I don't know
but
how they even.
The interesting thing.
How are they even out already? But yeah.
Well, my only thing could be maybe the boxes are incredibly similar to the existing boxes, and maybe they just got sent out or something. But the interesting thing is on the actual unit itself. It says for Series X,
S and X,
and
yes.
S.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a long rumor, but it's almost pretty much confirmed at this point.
They might as well just, I figured that they were, because normally when there's a really conclusive, leak or rumor or whatever, normally they'll come out, the next day or the same day and say, all right, yeah, this is true. Here's a trailer.
Yep.
This is what we wanted to do, whatever. They haven't done that. And that was shown maybe like a week ago or something like that. Still haven't. Nobody said anything about it. They haven't.
Well, it was after our last episode, so it was probably right after. But yeah, I'm surprised too. But my only guess is they probably have, because I know they have several showcases set up. They probably have it set up for that. Plus, they want to keep all their attention on the Series X. Because that's the one they're going to have to push more, because people will inevitably just buy the cheapest thing.
Absolutely. Honestly, I still don't agree with their decision to make a weaker, cheaper box. I prefer the idea that Sony has.
I agree,
even though
too.
The discless PS5 is really not going to be that much cheaper than the regular one. I still don't make extra variants for no reason. I mean, I work in IT, and variance is bad because now you have to support.
It confuses people. It confuses the
consumers.
Like people. I mean, we know what's going on.
It confuses the consumers.
But
now you got to support two different boxes. Now you got to, developers have to make sure their games work on, two different systems.
Yep.
It's just why? Why would you increase variance?
I'm pretty sure this Series S is probably going to be the equivalent of an Xbox One X, if I had to guess.
I hope so. Maybe like it's the same internals, or I don't know. I mean, who knows?
Yeah. But no, I agree with you. And plus, like, fanboy people are going to, here's what's going to happen. They're going to buy the cheap ones, and they're going to be like, man, this PlayStation 5 is blowing the Xbox out of the water, Kind of like what they do now with the Xbox. And, like, I have friends that have a PS4 Pro and an Xbox One S. It's like, well, yeah, of course. Of course, that Xbox One S looks like butthole compared to the PS4 Pro.
This is going to be another Xbox One S and One X situation where the One X is drastically more powerful, but you can't design any games just for the One X. You have to design the game for One S and then upscale it. And I hate that. I still don't agree with that.
I do too.
I still want to see what their ultimate plan is. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't like it.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe I actually hope to be wrong and there not be a huge gap.
I hope not.
Because realistically, I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey on my Xbox One X primarily, and it looked incredible. It loaded. It looked better than every other version. Probably not, high end
Right,
PC or whatever. But like, I actually even had it for PS4 Pro for a while because I like that game that much. I bought it twice. It even looked way better than that. Loaded faster. Everything. I played it on my S. Dude, that's a totally different game. Completely different. Like, it is. It runs and looks like complete trash on that system. And it bugs me that like that's the version that most people saw.
And that's how it is for a lot of games. I mean, Tekken 7, I mentioned it earlier, but it's the same way.
Yeah. I think we bring that game up every episode just because it's that infamous.
It's bad. But like any game, and me personally, because everybody knows I'm obsessed with 60 frames. Any game where it's 30 on 1S and it can barely even hold that frame rate, but then on X it's like 60 solid, and all that.
Locked.
It's like, man, why? Yeah. Everybody should buy a 1X. Why they even, bother?
See, I don't mind 30 as long as it's locked. I actually don't really even mind anything depending on the type of game as long as it's like stable. That's my thing. I don't want it to be juggery.
Oh, Monster Hunter. When I played Monster Hunter, I got my 1X around the time that Monster Hunter first came out, and I got Monster Hunter before that, and I got my 1X like maybe 2 weeks later. So I played it on the 1S first. On the original, because I had the original. And, God, it was terrible. I mean, the game looks good, but the frame rate was terrible. Anytime you went anywhere, it would drop like crazy. There was this Vaseline smear over everything, because it was using...
That's actually
temporal.
Vaseline over
that's
everything.
Like most of the games that use like temporal anti-aliasing or whatever, especially on the original Xbox, because it's not at 1080p, and then they use this anti-aliasing to try to smooth the edges, and then when you try to do that for something that's not even 1080p in the first place, you just get this blurry, gross, like dithered mess.
Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to download Avengers on an S as well.
Oh, Digital Foundry tore that shit up.
They did, but I want to see it.
But once I got my 1X, it was like when I got, glasses for the first time when I was in elementary school.
Dude, I was going to make that exact same analogy.
I was like, holy shit, I can see.
You beat me to it.
It was amazing. It looks great. Monster Hunter looks amazing on 1X, and if you don't have a 1X, man, I don't know what to tell you at this point.
Yeah, I actually got Monster Hunter day one on PS4 because that was my thing, and then I think I rented it on Xbox.
Oh, it's bad on the original.
It doesn't look leaps and bounds better, but it does look and run better.
The PS4 version, the base PS4 version, looks better than the original Xbox version of that. And it's sad, but I mean that's why when I heard that they were not, they're not making any more 1Xs, and they're just sticking with the 1S. I still don't really agree with that either, because 1Xs were so cheap.
I don't either.
You could get them for $300, regularly,
But as long as you can get a 1S for cheaper, people will buy.
I wish they would have dropped the 1S and just stuck with the 1X. Now, because they stopped producing those, it's hard to get a 1X. Like, they're really expensive now. Like, they drove up all the prices. And they were dirt cheap just a couple months ago.
Yeah. I kind of wish I would have got another one to replace an S.
I do,
I have two S models in the house, and I have one X model. And it's a lot.
I definitely should have got another one, because mine has been, shit in the bed for a while now. I was going to wait for the Series X, but... I'm hoping they don't delay the Series X. Some people are like, oh, let's just wait till next year for the Series X. Please don't.
I don't think they will.
Microsoft, release that shit this year, please. I'm not waiting for that.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen. Dude, we got to keep moving, man. It's almost an hour in. I thought this was going to be a short episode. Yeah. We're like,
not at all.
Yeah, it's not a short episode.
We can blow through the indie showcase stuff, but yeah.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. This also happened shortly after we recorded last time. I want to say last week every time, but it's not last week. It's every 2 weeks. So Apple removes Fortnite from iOS.
Yeah.
This
Epic
was
knew what they were doing with that. They definitely knew what they were doing with that.
That was a statement. That's what that was. So we'll
see how that goes.
But yeah, I'm sure by this point this is not a news podcast, but I'm sure everyone knows what's up. I'm on Epic's side though. I think Apple is getting a little too big for their britches, and people should be able to monetize their own things.
I feel like a lot of companies are kind of watching to see what will happen, because I'm sure a lot of them agree with Epic, but nobody wanted to poke the bear first, and Epic did it first.
Yeah.
So,
yep, they did.
and I'm hearing, I think I saw something about Apple made like take them off completely from the App Store, and I mean a lot of things are running on Unreal Engine, so that may be an issue if they go to that level of legal pettiness or whatever. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens.
This is going to be an ongoing battle for
Absolutely.
a while, I think. But this is the reason why xCloud's not coming to Apple immediately, because for the sake of convenience, if you're on an app and you want to buy an in-app purchase, you shouldn't have to go, around the barn to do it. Like, it's completely unnecessary. Like, I have Vudu on my iPad, and I watch shows and stuff on it. But if I want to check the deals, I can look at the deals, but I can't buy anything. I have to go to the Vudu website to buy stuff.
I didn't even know
stupid.
it was like that. See, I don't.
It's so dumb because it's an in-app monetization.
Yeah. So I have an iPhone, but I just have it for work, like the SE second gen. My primary phone is a 3A. I love the 3A. After using both of these phones, I do not want an iPhone. Like, I just don't. There's so many restrictions on stuff.
I tend to jump back and forth. Like, I had a Sony phone last. I loved it, but it was starting to give me problems. Around that time, the iPhone 11 was coming out. It looked really good. I jumped to an iPhone. Next time, depending on whatever looks good, I just jump to that. Like, I'm not really. I do think Apple makes the best tablets out there.
That's
their
probably
tablets
true.
Are superior to Samsung tablets by a lot.
Yeah, and especially since they don't make any. I don't think they make any Pixel tablets anymore. They used to have Nexus tablets, but that was a long time ago.
They did, yeah. The main tablets out now, you have Lenovo makes cheapo tablets. Of course, you have the Kindle tablets. The only competitor, and I use the bunny quotes for that, is Samsung.
What about the Surface tablets and stuff?
Well, I almost could put those more into like a laptop category.
More than a tablet.
A tablet.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, because they're practically
laptop replacements.
They're practically
are computer.
Yeah, I mean, you can run if you can run your laptop in Windows mode. It's the same thing,
and you put on like a keyboard. It's more of a competitor to the Pro, the iPad Pro, as opposed to just like the regular iPad.
And plus, the cheapest Microsoft tablet versus the cheapest iPad is, you're not comparing too much there. So those Microsoft Surfaces are expensive. Not to say that the iPads aren't. I have a pricey one myself, but whatever.
It is what it is.
Nell and my wife had it. And I was like, man, I really like this. So I was just like, whatever, man. Let's just bite the bullet.
I'm interested to see what Epic's going to do with that whole situation. I'm sure a lot of companies are, waiting in the wings to see what the hell's going to happen. I'm thinking that they did it because they felt like Google and Microsoft would jump in like, those guys been messing up my shit too.
And they may. I mean, this just happened, so
But
I kind of hope more people jump on this bandwagon too, because I'm kind of agreeing with Epic on this. You can have your own opinions or whatever, but I don't think anything's wrong with a developer trying to monetize their own stuff and get more money out of it. Like, I mean, I get that you pay Apple like a
30%.
a percent or something. Yeah, like it's fine, but it doesn't have to be like that much. You don't have to play by their rules.
If they rule in Epic's favor, it does open the door for other storefronts too, because Steam also gets 30%. Google also gets 30%. Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony also get 30%. So that's going to open a lot of it's going to affect more than just the App Store. Let's say if they rule in Epic's favor. But that's we'll just see what happens with that. We'll see what happens.
But yeah, I mean, if I buy something on Xbox or whatever, and it has in-game transactions, like I can buy it from the game. I don't have to exit out and go to a website or go to the it's stupid. Anywho, if anything happens on that, we'll be talking about it. So
a couple of new stuff that happened in some games lately, add-ons and stuff.
Yes, games happened. What? Yeah, so the biggest thing for me out of this was Ghost of Tsushima gets a multiplayer mode, which I only have one friend that has been playing that game, and I don't know if he's the most reliable multiplayer partner. I really hope I can play this multiplayer mode single player, because it honestly kind of looks like
a horde kind of thing, or
it kind of looks like Neo reminds me of more so than Ghost of Tsushima. Like, yeah, it looks cool though.
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't think anybody knew that this was coming. This was more of like a kind of like a out of the blue type thing.
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of annoyed because I already got installed. I was like, I'm not getting around to that.
They said it might be a separate separate thing, so maybe like a separate install.
Oh, okay. If they do that, that's fine. Kind of like they did
Uncharted.
What is that called for Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah,
well,
Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, Comrades. Well. Yeah. I deleted the main game and then had Comrades on my system for a while.
That's a hefty game.
So I was glad to delete that after I was done with it and just like leave Comrades.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we also have
continue on.
I'll jump in here for the Dragon Ball Fighter Z thing just because the resident fighting game aficionado and all the rest of that.
You are that. But you're not a Dragon Ball guy, though,
I mean, I watched Dragon Ball. I have a lot of respect for Dragon Ball Z just because that's what got a lot of people into anime back in the Toonami days and everything. But I don't love Dragon Ball Z. Like, it's not. That's like like a gateway thing. Once you get into anime, it's just like I don't want to watch Dragon Ball Z anymore because it's really. Me personally is just there's a lot of nostalgia there, but I don't think it's anywhere close to being the best at anything. So it's just yeah. But I mean, I like the fighting. This fighting game is amazing, and it's amazing because you don't have to love Dragon Ball Z to like this game. It's a good game, period. So that's
And my friend Kia is also a fighting game fan. I think I mentioned him before. He calls him and his friends call this game "Oops All Gokus."
Yeah,
because it's like a bunch of Goku characters, like half the roster.
Yeah,
it seems.
Absolutely. That's why them announcing somebody who isn't Goku and isn't some derivative of Goku like Vegeta and Bardock and stuff like that is great. And honestly, they should have had this in the first place. I like this game, but I'm more.
So who's the character?
Yeah, we haven't said the character. So it's Master Roshi, which if you know Dragon Ball Z. He's the old lecherous dude who just
lecherous is the nicest way to say it.
By the time Dragon Ball Z and Super and all the rest of those come around, he's not really doing so much. He's basically just in the background as comic relief. But
he is not powerful enough to keep up
anymore.
With these characters, but I'm glad that they
Which is
allow
another
it.
thing I have against Dragon Ball Z, but whatever. But in the original Dragon Ball, he is the guy who taught Goku. He teaches him the Kamehameha and all that other stuff. So I'm hoping they have more of that type of Master Roshi as opposed to the late game.
Well, they had the Demon Wave seal Piccolo away.
They did
in the trailer,
which
is a straight callback to Dragon Ball, OG Dragon Ball. So.
Yeah,
I thought was cool.
I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see they have a not Goku in there. I mean, a lot of the Dragon Ball fans, more the anime style fans, like seeing all the different Gokus in there. I don't. You just need like one. I'm more interested in character.
I like Goku,
character diversity. I want different characters.
I was actually
this is a fighting game.
I was actually kind of annoyed that base Goku was a downloadable character.
Yes, he is. Yeah,
just like
I'm not even going to list them all here, but there's a lot of Gokus in this shit.
There's like 6 or 7.
A lot of them,
and
all the derivatives and everything it's crazy. It's too much.
I'll take the next one just because. So did we talk about this?
I don't think
week?
we did.
I don't remember.
I think we may have mentioned it, but there's a lot more information about it now. A lot more.
The Splinter Cell blows just keep coming because I remember one week it was there's a Netflix
the
show.
anime.
Maybe that's
we talked about that. Yeah,
and then there was the chintzy ass mobile game. So and now we got Sam Fisher. I think he's already out.
He's out now.
I actually don't think he's called Sam Fisher. I think he has
Zero.
a code name. But he's clearly Sam Fisher.
He's called Zero. It is Sam Fisher.
There you go.
He doesn't have his night vision goggles, but he has a camera that will burrow into a wall or ceiling or whatever, and you can see on either side.
Yeah, it has sticky cams like he has in the games, pretty much. So Yeah, so if they keep dancing around Splinter Cell without actually going into it, and had I known better, and here's the thing, I know at one point, or maybe even currently, they have to be working on it.
They must be, because I mean, I'm sure they're putting him in all this stuff here just to keep him on, the surface of your minds.
But I'm not expecting anything at this point. Like I'm so sick of seeing him. Like just stop.
What if they come out? Let's say the Series X launches later on, and then they just like out of nowhere drop the next Splinter Cell with Series X exclusive.
Then you'll be damn sure I will be talking about it on this podcast for an hour and a half straight. Probably not for an hour straight, but I'm going to be excited about it because like I rebought all these games digitally, even though I have them all on multiple consoles. Like I actually have all the Splinter Cell games on OG Xbox and 360, and I even have Chaos Theory on PS2.
PS2. Oh god, but yeah.
I have the Wii U version of
Blacklist, right?
Blacklist, which has the worst load times. It's like 2 or 3 minutes per level. But it's so awesome because your gadgets and stuff are on the gamepad. And especially if you have the drone that has the little camera on it, you can actually watch Sam on the TV and like the camera, like what you're viewing.
That's
the
actually
drone
really dope.
On the, it's really awesome.
I'd have to. I want to get some more of those kind of those third-party games for Wii U that had that kind of more unique stuff.
Ubisoft does it really well.
I have to check that out.
Watch Dogs doesn't look that good, but you have your map on the screen, and you can do a lot of little stuff.
Batman Arkham Asylum,
Assassin's Creed 4.
One of them.
I don't know if that does that much. Most of the Ubisoft games have the map on the screen, which helps immensely because you don't have to keep stopping to look for stuff. And I digress, though. Whatever.
Yeah,
we got a guy texting me back going, "I can be on the podcast now." It's too late, buddy.
Just keep going.
Yep.
But yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Moving on. So yeah, earlier in this week, I sent you that was like 2 days ago. Yesterday.
Yeah, you sent it to me. I saw something, but the one that you sent me is the first time I actually tried to watch it.
Yeah, so new game by somebody I don't remember, somebody I've never heard of.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
You look it up because I don't recall. This is Black Myth Wukong, which is like a journey to the
Another
west
one.
Sort of thing. There's 13 minutes of gameplay trailer. This looked incredible to me.
It looked amazing.
The only thing I have worries about, parts of it looks very kind of Dark Souls-y.
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried about that because they do not want this game to kick my ass. I want to enjoy this game. Like I don't have the patience for ass kicking games anymore. I just want to enjoy games.
I'm looking on this Eurogamer, and they said that this game is done by a Chinese studio called Game Science. They're apparently billing it as like China's first AAA title. I don't know if I completely agree with that, but it does look really, really good. This looks better than a lot of games out right. Actually, this is really the most next-gen looking game that I've seen so far.
Yes. And I'll tell you what stood out to me the most is at the very end with the clouds.
Yep.
Those clouds, like, dynamically, like, moving with him, like, as he was swinging his staff around and whatnot through the... look this trailer up.
Yeah, whenever you get a chance. Yeah,
incredible.
It really does. The thing that stood out to me is the boss fight with that like giant wolf fox type thing.
That's what looked like Soulsy to me.
What stood out to me, I guess, graphically was the fur lighting on fire. When he was using the fire weapon, and it like dynamically reacting to that, and doing certain things or whatever. When it was jumping on top of the buildings and how the shingles are coming off and how that reacted. The next thing is, if you look, the fire staff or whichever that he was using when he kind of transformed there, the fire had like heat, kind of like that heat haze or whatever, all like pass on him, on his character and everything, which looked really, really good. Normally they don't have that kind of detail when on a character model that's really moving that fast. You know, you only have that if you're like zoomed in on like a movie, you know, character model or something like that. This was like a regular action, walking around and hitting stuff, and it had that kind of detail on it. I was blown away. It looked really good, and it was running at like 60 frames the whole time.
And it was like in game. This is what you're seeing footage. It wasn't like
actual game footage. You know, it's insane. Yes. So I'm hoping, but you know, there's other Chinese developers that seem to be doing that. Because there was that game that they had announced with the Xbox One X at first, which is, I mean, it's already out on Steam. It's that shooter.
I know what you're talking about. The very first reveal event. It was like the first game they showed.
Yes.
I think it was made by like
one guy.
Yeah, it looked incredible.
And I can't remember the name of the game to save my life now.
I can't either.
But there's that one. There's a couple others too that look really amazing. But yeah, I mean I want to see more games like that on Series X. You know, there's no way that game could go on an original Xbox. No way. So I don't know what they plan to do with that, what it's going to come out on.
Well, I mean, Microsoft said their stuff. So they did not say, everyone had to comply with that.
That's true. Yes, that is true. That is true.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure they can't comply with that. So I'm actually kind of curious to see what, like, I was talking about how bad Odyssey looked. I'm really curious to see what Valhalla is going to look on running on like S. So,
all right. So what do we got next?
Indie World Showcase that came out. Nintendo Indie World Showcase. So I'm actually watching that now. It actually has sped by a lot faster than I expected.
There wasn't really a whole lot.
This whole thing did not blow me away.
But I mean, I don't think it was really designed to or anything. But
yeah. No, I mean it's indie games. So the first thing they showed was Hades, which I want to say, was that like an Epic Game Store exclusive, or did they give that away or something?
Hades, I think it's on Steam as a pre-release or green light game.
Okay, I want to say it was out in some capacity on PC
it was.
Something of that.
I remember seeing this actually a while ago. It's been in early access since December 2018. So it's been out for a while. So I've seen this. I've seen this before, and I've wanted to play it, but I have a potato computer, so that shit wasn't happening. But I'm really interested in this game because I really like Supergiant's or Supergiant Games, their stuff, because they also.
I like it too, but I never get very far in any of their stuff. If that makes any sense, like I played Bastion for a while, played Transistor. I was like, wow, this is really good, and then I always fall off onto something.
I haven't played Pyre. But
I haven't either.
I played Transistor. I beat that like the day that I got it. I immediately bought it and beat it. I loved it. Like, that game is amazing. Just the way it looks and everything is amazing. Bastion, I played it for a little bit. I actually wasn't as interested in Bastion. Not that it looked bad, but Transistor grabbed me so much more than Bastion did, even though they do play pretty similarly.
Maybe I'll give them another shot. I think I own all these games on like Xbox, some on PlayStation.
I played Transistor
on the iPad. I have them on the Switch.
I believe. Pyre is only on PS4. I did not know that. Okay. That's probably why I didn't pay much attention to it.
So yeah, this is interesting looking, but I probably won't actually get around to it. Then you have what is Hypnospace Outlaw, and there's a demo available, and I actually skipped past the trailer. So I don't know what this is. I still don't know what it is. I'm looking at the trailer now. Look like I'm checking emails.
It looks like it's almost like a ARG type thing. You're in like a old school 90s internet browser, and you're trying to track down hackers, I guess. And it looks like you're clicking around in like GeoCities looking websites and everything.
Okay, yeah, okay, I see it now. I just started the thing up. A lot of this I don't remember. This does not look like something I would want to play on a console.
Yeah, not my bag at all.
This is straight, like, if I wanted to play it at all, which it looks fine, I definitely want to play it on
It looks like it could be a good Switch game also, if you could use it in, like, portable mode or something.
I mean, it is on Switch?
Yeah, definitely. But, yeah, if you could use it in, like, portable mode, tapping on the screen and stuff like that, as opposed to... There's so many games on Switch that would work well as, like, screen tapping or waggling around the Joy-Cons, but you can't, which is
waggle.
It's kind of weird how they just don't really do that at all. There's very few Switch games where you can touch the screen. Or anything.
Not a lot of games. I think the only game I could think of with any sort of pointy controls is like World of Goo. I think has it.
And a lot of early Switch games like ARMS and stuff, you could use the motion sensing, but a lot of them don't, which is it's really surprising.
Yeah. So the next one you had, which this is not the first time they've showed this. And I did not know this was going to be on Game Pass, even though they probably said it at one point, and I just forgot. But this is Spiritfarer. This is the last game I played this week. And I did not play a lot, so I'm not going to talk about it a whole lot. I will say, though, I played it on PC, and it runs butter smooth.
Of course.
So I'm sure it runs butter smooth on everything. So
I hope so.
I hope so as well. It looks incredible, though.
It does. And
It seems to be like a management sort of game. So you have like critters that come up towards your boat, and you have to get them a place to live, and you have to make sure they're happy and fed and all this stuff. And you can go fishing, and they don't explain a whole lot
Not
in
at
the
all.
trailer.
They explain more in this trailer than they did in the first one, and that was still nothing.
Yeah.
But, it does look really good. I like the art style.
I could definitely recommend downloading it on Game Pass for sure and give it a shot.
Wife tends to like these kind of games.
The little bit I played, it was super charming.
Yeah.
I will say. Yeah, that's my hot take. Super charming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see.
What do we have next?
Garden
Story.
So
yep. I'm gonna have to wait for that to
not
pop
my
up.
thing at all, but it does look pretty good. It's the one with the grape, where you are, you play as a grape, and then you
okay. Yeah,
I guess it's like a farming type. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it.
It almost looks like they took the art style from like Stardew Valley.
That's it.
Like, let's do this.
That's it. A lot of people, I've heard that. Or from how they described it, they said it was a lot like Stardew Valley.
Which I'm cool, but Stardew Valley is a hell of a time sink already. I don't need another one of those. I actually played Stardew Valley a lot when it came out, but I've kind of fallen off.
Isn't that a lot like the Harvest Moon?
Harvest Moon?
A lot like that. Okay.
It is, but it's it is. I mean, it replaced Harvest Moon for a while because Harvest Moon wasn't doing anything good for a little while. Now you do have the Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town that just came out though. So, and that's a remake of GBA Harvest Moon, and it's been good so far.
So sub.
Let's see. This has been out on everything else.
Yeah.
For
So this is just a
minute.
port, so we don't have to really go all
so,
super deep on that.
I'm not interested in this at all, even on the fancier systems, because I have an unnatural fear of large sea creatures underwater. So there was a part in the Sinking City I was actually playing, and there's like this thing never even comes after you, but like you could see it off in the distance. There's like this giant like kraken looking thing, and I'm like, oh hell no. Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's background dressing.
Right,
It's not even there. Like, but nah, I'm just like,
I'm not really
so,
super into that one either.
Yeah, I'm not.
The next
not a
one
fan.
does look pretty interesting. Takeshi and Hiroshi.
It's like claymation sort of looking stuff, isn't it?
I like that. Okay. I like that aesthetic. I guess you're making a game. You're developing a game for your little brother, and then you are changing the design basically. So it's not too hard or too easy, I guess, and to keep your brother happy or whatnot. So, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would like this kind of game. So it's kind of slower paced.
And that's out. That came out the day of. It was like available now sort of business, I believe.
Which I like how Nintendo does that. So, not everything is, wait 3 years from now to be able to see it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're pretty good. The next one you have is
the next one
Raji?
is also out, too.
Raji?
I think
is it?
Raji
Okay.
is on Game Pass, if I remember correctly, because I think I saw it.
I don't know. I'll have to look. I plan on getting on more. This actually doesn't look too bad. It kind of looks like an isometric Prince of Persia is kind of what it reminds me of, but with more fantastical elements.
It does look pretty
stuff. Oh, and there's a
I
giant
like the
snake.
music too. So it is on Xbox and it is for Game Pass. There we go.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, I will download it after this, and I probably won't play it today because I'm more interested in playing the Avengers beta I've already played.
Yeah, a million times.
Yeah.
Bear and Breakfast is the next one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is where I checked out a little bit.
I think my wife would actually love this kind of game. She likes these kind of games where there's like hospitality and simulators where you would make food and keep customers happy and stuff like that. She likes shit like that. So I think this would be up her alley.
Yep. Someone will like this, but it ain't me. 2021.
Yeah, it's next
There's
year.
your date.
Yeah.
You have 365 possible options. Let's see. The next game, A Short Hike.
Like how this looks
like a friggin' DS game.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, wow, this looks like an early DS game. It actually, I like that look. I like it a lot.
I do too. Yeah, it actually, if you've played a DS game on, which I know you have, on the Wii U, yeah, that's exactly the graphical.
Because it's like the resolution is super low, so it's like really zoomed in, but it looks really smooth, and. Yeah. It just, I love the way it looks, and it plays smooth because it looked like it was running at 60 or so, with that.
I mean, with these visuals, it better be,
have
right?
to. It looks really good. I mean, out of all the indie games here, well, besides Hades, because I am interested in Hades too.
Oh, that's later today too. I may have to give this a shot. I was actually mildly interested in this one myself, so. Some card game.
So this is where I guess it's like a card playing game where the objective is to cheat and get away with it. So, and it's set in like I don't know if that was 1800s or what that was, but it's a period game. So everybody has like a pistol on them and they're willing to shoot you on the spot.
Oh, I just saw that.
If you're caught cheating. Sure, there's like duels and things like that as well. I mean, it looks interesting, I guess, if you want to card. So it's more about getting away with cheating as opposed to actually playing normally. So that's interesting.
So do you get punished if you just try to win
normally?
Naturally?
I thought I don't even know if that's even an option. Maybe that's like a secret ending where you just play the game normally.
You're not cheating enough.
Torchlight.
Let's see. We got Torchlight 3, which I have not played a single one of these. It looks like Diablo, but it looks like Diablo with way the hell too much going on. Like, I can barely keep up with what's going on in Diablo. This just looks like Diablo on crack to
Torchlight, it's actually interesting. I've seen Torchlight for years, and I never played it up until maybe like a week or so ago. I actually played a little bit of it. I downloaded it for Xbox because it's on Game Pass. Torchlight 2, not the third one.
Oh yeah,
Torchlight 2 is on Game Pass. I tried it out for a little bit, and this is one of those games where I immediately just deleted it. not because it was terrible. I mean, it's fine, but it just looks like an iOS game or something. And then, I mean, I like Diablo. I like Diablo.
Gotcha.
Like a good amount or whatever, and I like those style of games, but Torchlight just was really simplistic. I missed the boat on that because it came out in 2012. So if you didn't play it around that time, honestly, there's really no reason to start now unless you really like it. So Torchlight 3 may be the one that I jump on and see what's going on.
The intro, When I see stuff like this, as much as it looks cool or whatever, it just looks like, man, it's like I have all these games to play.
Yeah.
Like,
Torchlight 3 is already out on Steam, it looks like.
Nice.
It's been out for a little while.
Next game is, I'm pretty sure, also on PS4. I could be wrong with that. It's called Manifold Garden.
That also came out on Xbox today.
And it.
Good.
Okay. So, I think it's on everything. But this, to me, looks very interesting. It kind of reminds me of Return of the Obra Dinn, but not, obviously, it's a lot more psychedelic looking. It looks to be a first-person puzzle adventure game. Because it is in this sort of style, though, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the first version. I'm just saying it's going to have jaggies everywhere.
And then if you're looking out into the distance, it'll just be like a blurry mess or something like that.
It will be a blur of pixels, absolutely. But, I mean, hey, game's fun, but,
I actually bought the physical copy of Oberdin on Limited Run. I have it on Xbox Digital, but Limited Run does not have Xbox games for whatever reason. So
yeah,
they
never do. They only have Switch and PS4.
Yeah. Oh, I also bought just because I'm a Wii U fan. You know, Hotline. Is it not Hotline Miami? It's the Shakedown
Miami.
No, what the hell's this thing called? I'm gonna look it up. There's the sequel to Hotline Miami was available
Shakedown
physical for the Wii U.
Yep.
Hawaii, yeah, for the Wii U starting yesterday at like 1:00, and so I bought a copy of it because I was like, you know what, I have like a ton of Wii U games, and I know this is probably the last one that's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, I have to get it. It's not an option.
And I mean, it looks like it should run.
And I like that sort of game.
Pretty fine on Wii U.
I mean,
Wii U, that disc is
like,
spinning for its dear life when Wii U is going, man. That thing is.
Oh yeah,
it's taking
yeah,
off.
Exactly.
But yeah. So what do we got for the next one here? We got Evergate.
I don't know. Evergate. It's a gate.
So
that's ever.
one thing I noticed when this came on, I kind of thought to myself, I was like, you know, a lot of these games that they're showing are about navigating through the afterlife. When I got to this part, there's like three or four other games up until this point that did that, which, you know, Hades, Spiritfarer, you know, and a couple others. Is like, damn, what the hell? Nintendo's going all in on this.
Maybe that's going to be the name of the episode then. Navigating through the afterlife. I was trying to think of that, so there you go.
But
yeah. Yeah, you know what? I didn't think about that.
Yeah, a lot of the games.
Yeah, now that you mention it, it does seem to be the indie flavor of the week.
That's the new shit for this week is navigating through the afterlife.
Yep. Zombies are done. We already died. Get through it.
Haven. I think this is the point where it kind of like.
Is that the Call of the King?
It starts like blowing through all the little miniature trailers to that little montage at the end. Okay. Haven, I'm really interested in this game. It doesn't look.
What is this? I don't even know what this is. I'm getting to it.
Yeah. So it's kind of like.
When you said Haven, I immediately thought of the Haven Call to the King.
Yeah, actually, I remember that. Yeah. So this is like a co-op.
Oh wow! Okay.
There's a couple of games that look like this, where you're kind of like gliding along.
This looks like Fire Emblem. Whatever the one on the Wii U is called. Not the Three Houses. That's what the graphics
on the Switch,
look like
to me. Like their character
on the Switch,
designs
not
and
the
all
Wii
that. Yeah. And it's kind of like Journey, I guess, how you move around, and you kind of just like, well, no, Journey didn't really.
No, this looks like something's happening.
But what I like about it, for one, is the fact that there's an actual couple, and that's like the central part of the game or whatever. You play as a couple, and that's a kind of annoyance with to me about anime and games in general. You never see any actual couples, that never exists in real life. You know, it's like it doesn't have to be some sort of weird drama or issue or whatever. Like a lot of times people just work together. Like, why is that such an issue to show that in games? The fact that this has that as like their central thing in this game or whatever, I thought it was really interesting. Like, you work together as a couple throughout the whole game, and there's so little games that do that. I can't think of any really off the top of my head, and you know, I just think that's weird. Like, why is that not a thing?
Eco?
Eco? Nah, I don't really.
I wouldn't really call them a couple either.
But yeah, like an actual couple, you barely ever see that. And even, you know, anime also. I have like a list that does.
The 2008 Prince of Persia. Again,
not really
a couple. But
you're working with someone, but you're not like an established, like, you know.
Yeah,
couple.
yeah. I honestly can't think of a single one.
Yeah, and I think that's so weird. Like, why is that?
I'm sure it exists.
Why
I just
is
can't
that?
think
But
of it.
you know, whatever. I just thought that was unique, the fact that they did that. So I was interested.
Yeah, good job, people.
Yeah.
Trying something new. Are you going through the afterlife? We don't know yet.
It looks like it.
The Field of Reeds,
Unless
man.
any of those other ones that kind of blew by, like, really stands out to you.
Yeah, Going Under looks like craziness, which pass. I don't know what's happening here. It just
is
looks
that the
like
one?
craziness. The Red Lantern.
I think that was like
that?
what was that? That was like a roguelike, wasn't it? That isometric roguelike looking game.
Dude, I couldn't even tell you what was happening. It kind of looked like Power Stone there for a second.
Yeah,
the
and there it's super hyper
like
colorful and all that.
Nuts.
This actually looks pretty good too. I don't know. I might dabble in that.
The Red Lantern looks okay. The Red Lantern looks like. Did you ever play the Long Dark?
I think I
That's kind of what
I
it
played that a
reminds me
little
of
bit.
for some reason. Unrail looks like a voxel train simulator / adventure game.
Voxel Games is the next.
I know it sounds like we're running through this, but they're
Right,
literally
yeah.
running through it, so that's what we're doing. So, struggling. Looks like you're this mass of flesh. That's okay. Pass. Oh, Inmost actually does look good. This is from Stardew Valley people, and I remember seeing this a little while back.
What was
this
it called
actually
again?
Looks interesting to me.
Okay.
Inmost. It looks kind of like a horror side scroller. Kind of. It honestly looks like a Game Boy game. Like it could be a Game Boy game, but obviously, visually a lot better.
Oh, okay. I see it. Inmost. All right.
She Dreams Elsewhere looks like a Undertale clone.
It kind of looks like that one with that little boy that you play as, and he gets stabbed by a spider in the first 5 seconds of the game. Scared the shit out of my wife.
Oh,
Limbo.
Limbo?
Yes.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Inmost?
Yeah. No, I like it. I
yeah,
like
yeah.
how it looks too. It
Yeah.
does look really dope. Yeah. So what was the next one?
The one that I said looked like an Undertale clone. I already forget the name of it.
I haven't played Undertale either. I hear so much stuff about Undertale and I haven't played it.
Dude, I know I'm probably going to get crap for this. I think Undertale is the most
Really?
overrated
Okay.
thing.
I see
Ever.
so much shit about it, and then when I actually watch it, I don't really get what it is that's so amazing. It looks like it's a similar game actually to Earthbound, like the way that it works.
It is, and it tries to be, and I don't know, man. I'm just like, this is just, I don't know. I didn't get that much out of it. Maybe it's just because it was so hyped
Oh,
up.
they hyped that thing up
because
too.
that's why I got it. I didn't
Yeah.
even have a gaming computer. You don't need a
Yeah.
gaming computer for this. It runs it like an NES game, but it was so hyped and so talked about, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's the second coming of video games." Practically at this point, so I'm just like, and I played all the way through it. I'm like, yeah, it was all right.
So you beat the whole thing?
Yeah, it's not even that long of a game, and I know you can go through and play it in different ways. I
wonder if
didn't
it's like the
care
story that they're
much.
going
Like,
crazy over more than just the gameplay itself. Because the gameplay, it looked like
guess.
it looked like Earthbound from what I've seen, which is not a bad thing. I liked Earthbound.
I do like the fact that when you do an attack or your turn, essentially, you have this little heart, and you have to solve this little puzzle to do different things. It has a very unique combat system.
I might try it out one of these days.
But
Maybe.
Yeah, if you can get it super cheap or something, I don't know. I just was like,
Right.
like, I do not get the hype behind this thing. I don't like the art style. The music is okay. Like, I don't know. I definitely respect Toby Fox. I think he is overrated, though. I know.
What else has he done?
My popularity death
Yeah.
sentence. Was a Delta Room.
Oh, okay.
Like the follow-up Undertale. I know he works with 8.4. 8.4 published the physical
But
copy of
that's
Undertale.
how I feel about Peter Molyneux, though. Where I feel like his stuff is
definitely.
super, overhyped. But
He has a different level of it though. Like, he's very out front and he's ambitious. He doesn't reach his ambition though. Toby Fox stays in the background and he likes to pretend he's like Shigesato Itoi or something like that. Like he's some sort of internal genius. And I'm just like, bro, you made you got lucky. That's how I feel. Yeah, you're not.
I always kind of thought it. 'Cause I remember when Fable, and they're first showing the stuff about Fable, I was like, oh, that looks great. It's like, it's from Peter Molyneux, the guy who made Black and White, and Black and White 2 and everything. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I remember seeing Black and White in PC Gamer or something. It's like, that looks terrible, but I've never played it.
I heard it was actually pretty good.
I heard a lot of
never
good things
either,
about it,
so.
but just me personally, at that time, I'm like in high school or whatever. I was like, that doesn't look fun.
Yeah.
Like I want to play that shit, but whatever.
Yeah. What do we got next? Grindstone looks like a Bejeweled. It looks as a puzzle game.
Moving on.
I'm literally just stalling for time until the trailer's over. Goner 2. I don't know what this is. It looks like a multiplayer platformer. It looks pretty fun. It kind of reminds me of what was that game? Rainbow Run. Or something like that?
I know what you're talking about. It's on Xbox as well.
It's on. I think I have it for Wii U physical. It's called Rainbow.
It's like Rainbow Runner or something like that.
Something. I have to look it up. All right, and next you can talk about Goose Game.
Yeah, Untitled Goose Game.
Go for it.
I've never played it. This is also another one of those games.
Really?
Where it's really. It was hyped a lot when it first came out. I don't know. I might try it out eventually, but.
Okay, so this game is on Game Pass. I actually bought it for the Switch. It is a fun game. It's actually it's enjoyable.
I'll have to try it out.
But it is over super fast.
Well, that's good. I'm good for that because I don't really
Dude, the game is like an hour long.
Perfect.
It's not. It's
perfect.
Maybe 2 hours.
Me and my wife can jump on, play it for a little bit, and
yeah, my wife actually wants to play it. She said she was going to, but she never did. It's charming. It's very funny, especially when the crap you can get into. I really want to know what this friggin' Rainbow game is called. Like I typed in Rainbow.
Yeah,
Run
I did too.
And
Google's like what
I don't
the hell
know
are
what
you
it's
talking
called.
about?
It's Rainbow something.
I know what you're talking about because I've seen it. I've seen it on Xbox, and I don't know what it's called.
I have to know.
Or maybe Runbow. Maybe that's what it is.
Runbow sounds. Runbow sounds. Like
yes, that's what it is. Runbow. Yep, that's it.
Good job. The mystery has been solved.
Man.
Okay. Anyway, back to Goose Game. Physical copy coming soon. Which that's how much is that?
This character on the cover of Runbow looks like the villain from Kim Possible.
I don't know. I don't
Oh,
know
what? All right, well.
Yeah, I get that reaction every time. I don't know anything. I know who Kim Possible is if you show me a photo of her. That's it.
Yeah, this character definitely looks like that. But yeah, go ahead.
Anyway, yeah, so free update coming to Goose Game where you can
got a
play
whole
co-op
trailer for this.
with a goose bunny, a goose buddy, not a goose bunny. Goose bunny maybe then.
That's cool. Did it say when it comes out?
It may have, and I may have not paid attention to it. I'm watching it now.
If it has co-op, I'll definitely jump on there.
September 23rd.
Yeah, we'll jump on.
So yeah, I bet you guys would actually enjoy this quite a bit. Maybe I can.
She likes little things like that. She especially likes the ones that don't last too long because their ADD is terrible.
This game does not last long at all. This game is over super fast. I will say some of the puzzles are kind of clever. Like they'll ask you to do certain things, and you're like, "How the heck am I supposed to do this?" Like there was this one bit, spoilers, I guess, where they're like break a broom. Like they're trying to get you to break this broom, and there's like this garage door. So I'm like, oh, clearly I have to put the broom in the garage door and then close the door. No, that's not how you do it. What you have to do is like try to pull the broom away while she's holding it, and it comes apart.
How does that make sense?
But dude, I spent forever like trying to position this broom into this garage door because I'm like, oh, it's gonna break it. It does not. It just clips through one way or the other.
Okay.
So there's very specific ways.
Yeah, it would be nice if you could do it in like multiple different ways, but I'm sure that would just take up more development time.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's it. That's it for this week. Show's over. I had made that joke already. So, but coming soon, next couple weeks, you have Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remake, which I'm so excited for.
I'm definitely interested to play that.
I'm a big Tony Hawk fan. I have this game pre-ordered and they didn't give me a demo. I think it's only digital.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You did try to pre-order.
Because I would be playing the demo, but I'm not. So, but yeah, let's see. Marvel's Avengers comes out same day.
Yeah.
Oddly enough. So Battletoads is out now. And you put Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles War Master,
yes.
which I don't.
Is it War Master? War Master, but it's another remaster. Okay. But I'm really hyped about that because
The definitive edition.
War Master Definitive. So
that's not out. That comes out after our next episode. Doesn't
yes. Well, I mean, it comes out around the same time as Avengers.
What are you going to get that on, by the way? I might
PS4.
Get it too. PS4.
Yeah, if I'm getting it, I'm definitely going to get it on PS4.
Okay.
Just because
I'm thinking about getting it as well.
I never got the original on GameCube. I've always wanted to get the original on GameCube, and I always wanted to get like the whole setup. You know, all the little Game Boy Advances and the cables and everything.
I have 2 cables. Well, I don't know why I'm telling you this. We don't have to close. We can't do this.
Yeah, I would have loved to try that out, and I think I was looking for that when I was
too.
working at GameSpot. Actually, I was looking for that setup, and I never did find it.
Yeah, I have the game. Have you ever played the game?
Never, and I always wanted to.
Okay,
yeah.
So big problem with the game, and I hope they did something to correct this. To accommodate the co-op nature of the game and to keep you from wandering.
One person had to keep the bucket on their head. Yeah.
Carry the bucket.
I did hear about that.
That's not necessary anymore. Can I just get an AI dude to carry the bucket? There's no reason for that. If you're playing single player, it's very annoying because there's no reason for it in single player other than story reasons. So you have to carry the bucket.
You can't give the bucket to an AI character if you play on your own?
Not in the GameCube one. At least to my knowledge. Maybe I'm wrong. I seem to remember having to carry the bucket, see an enemy, drop the bucket, beat the enemy, pick up the bucket.
Oh, what?
Keep walking. It was so annoying.
Multiplayer, and if you're playing, then one person has to carry the bucket.
Then yeah, you have to. Someone's on bucket duty. Maybe that's the name of the episode. I got so many good ones.
Oh yeah, that would suck.
Bucket
but yeah,
duty.
I mean, it's. I've always wanted to play this, so being able to actually play it, and then you don't have to have the whole setup, even though it would be really cool to see the little screens. I wonder if they're going to include that, if they're going to include the little Game Boy Advance looking screen at all, or.
I doubt it. I'm sure as long as the development's been for this, they probably found
that's pretty good. I mean, people have been complaining that it didn't have local co-op. I'm like, how the hell is local co-op supposed to work if it didn't have in the original game you had to have different screens and everything? Whatever.
I don't know. I'm considering getting this on PlayStation 4 as well, though, so maybe we could actually play it co-op.
Definitely be down for that.
I will attempt to do that. I know my availability is practically zero, but we'll give it a shot. So let's see. That's it for the no for joke real. This time. This is actually it for this week's episode. What are we on? Episode 6? Something like that? That sounds about right.
I think it's 5. No, it's 6. It's 6 because we still have the last episode.
So we've been going 12 weeks. Yeah, we've been going 12 weeks. I'm thinking maybe around episode 10. Money is kind of it's not tight, but I don't want to pay for iTunes and stuff right now. I don't want to pay for SoundCloud, so I'm thinking maybe by episode 10 we'll have a good formula down. We're kind of working on the formula. And then we'll be on podcasting services. Right now, YouTube's your only option, so yeah. But look forward to iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, all that fun stuff. We'll get it on that, and I don't know, maybe start putting out some YouTube stuff eventually. I was gonna try to do a Ghost of Tsushima,
stream or something like that.
Spoil it. And I was gonna do a spoiler chat with the one guy. I said I knew a guy that had played it, and he actually platinumed the game too. And I got with him. I was like, hey, let's do a spoiler talk with it, and he never got back with me. So that's why I said he's probably not the most reliable. So,
but I'm sure you can get. And I think Kayla may want to. I don't know. Maybe she might want to do that. But yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I'm down. So look forward to next week. Hopefully, we can get the GameSpot crew on, even though I'm not technically one of them.
Of course, no, definitely.
I was there so much.
Yeah, we have a whole I'll say barn full of characters, or there's a.
Why specifically a barn full of characters? Definitively,
there's a lot of people that came through GameSpot.
Yeah, we're in and out of that.
A lot of regulars,
and I mentioned earlier to you that if I have friends, if they weren't from work or school, I met them at a video game store.
Yeah, that's just how it works.
Because I'm going down my list. I was like, I met him at a GameStop. I met him at a Best Buy. It's like one of my good friends, Edwin, which I'll have on one day. Like I bonded with him over Fire Emblem Awakening because I was working at Best Buy in the sales department at the time, and like everybody that comes in is like, hey, Madden, you got a 2K, you got that duty. But no, this guy's like, you have you played Fire Emblem? Like,
have I?
This guy. He's actually asking about something that isn't a sports game or a shoot 'em up game. I am appalled, and not really appalled. No, that's not the word I wanted to use. I'm blown away by this that somebody actually plays something else. So.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, so I've been friends with him for years because of that. Actually, so is my mouse dead? Are you serious? Okay, no, it's not. It's just being stupid. It's like I just got this mouse. But yeah. So until 2 weeks from now,
look forward to that.
I had an outro and I completely forgot it, but it's fine. So yeah, I've been Macleod. This is Dwight Robinson. We've been having a nice, fun game chat. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Goodbye, everybody. I did. You do that better than me.